Tay Roc recently battled Clone last weekend, and his first round lasted 20 minutes long. Absolutely ridiculous and uncalled for, but not Tay Roc's fault. Let's talk about it. Man, I mean, in the world of battle rap today, and honestly for as long as I've been doing it, because I've been competing for 11 years now, I've signed so many contracts and have gotten hit over the head by so many long rounds that weren't supposed to be long. I've signed contracts for 3 minutes and had opponents rap 7 minutes of material. I've signed up for 2:30s and got hit with 4s. I've signed up for 3s and got hit with 5s. The time limit will always be taboo in the battle rap world. It is not respected. It is not acknowledged. Nobody cares about it. Battlers don't care about it. Fans don't care about it. And it gets to a point where there is a large group of the battle rap community that does not seem to care or understand that just 30 to 45 seconds over a time limit can make or break whether a battle rapper wins or loses. There are a few battles that I have had where if I clocked my opponent at the time that he was supposed to stop, or even just 20 seconds over the time he was supposed to stop, I probably could have taken the round. Tay Roc had a first round versus Clone that lasted over 15 minutes long. And I completely agree. I agree with everybody when it comes to long rounds. You don't need to, and you shouldn't be having long rounds. You should have some type of integrity, competitive integrity, to keep it within the time frame or near the time frame. Because let's be honest, 30 seconds over the grace period, you're talking about fitting maybe like 12 to 16 more punchlines if you want to punch every single bar. So while I was watching this pay-per-view, I was even thinking in my head, like, oh my God, when is this round gonna end? Like, when is Tay Roc gonna stop rapping? It was completely over the top when I watched for the first time. But then I watched for the second time with a stop clock. If you were to clock Tay Roc's first round versus Clone, you are probably going to reach about 15 minutes in length. But if you clock Tay Roc's round and stop every time he stops, starts every time he starts again, and don't count any of the crowd reaction or the times where he brought the bars back, you're looking at 4 minutes and 37 seconds. Now that is not 15 minutes of material. Everybody that goes over the time, I love you, but unless the contract stated 4-minute rounds with a 30-second grace or 3:30 with a 30-second grace, it's just too much. And I don't know, going off experience, most of the contracts that I get are anywhere from 2:30 to 3 minutes of material, sometimes less. And then what they'll do is they'll give you a 30-second grace. Is that super, super bad that Roc rapped a 4-minute and 30-second round? No, not at all. What we need to look at in that Clone battle is just how much the crowds react to Tay Roc. You can't blame Roc for the crowd reacting to them. Does he bring a lot of bars back, and does it make it a little much of a stretch? Absolutely. Sometimes he does. He'll take a whole 8-bar setup and bring it back. I think sometimes he rushes it. Like, he'll rush it, but still he'll bring a large portion of his rounds back when he gets haymakers. But can you fault him for landing haymakers and the crowd not shutting up before it's his time to rap again? No, you can't. 4:37 is not that bad if the contract is 3:30 to 4 minutes with a 30-second grace. If we're talking, if Clone signed a contract that says 2:30 with a 30-second grace and Roc goes 1 minute and 45 seconds over the time, that is a whole round. You're not winning. You're just not winning. And with Roc, he's such a good battle rapper that it is unfair. It's super unfair. If Clone, capped himself at 2:30 or 3 minutes and Roc is rapping 50% more, 100%, that is just not fair. But the way I timed it right now, it doesn't seem too bad. I just don't know bullpen contracts. I don't know, if the times are 3:30 or 4 minutes. I don't see that being it. Most contracts I've ever seen are all 2:30 to 3 minutes, and they'll put like a 15 to 30 second grace period. Guys, you just need to stop putting the times in the contract. That's about it. There is absolutely no point in a time limit being in a contract. There is not a single man or woman in a battle rap league that when battlers start battling, you see a time clock. You see somebody with a phone out and a stopwatch. It does not happen. What is the point? It tricks people like me and a lot of other battle rappers that will cap themselves at a reasonable time where the contract states they should be rapping for. Battle rap is the wild, wild west when it comes to time limits. Nobody should ever care about the time limits. And I honestly think we should start rapping longer rounds. I think, you know what? If the leagues want venues to end correctly, if they want to leave at the right time and they want to save money and they want to save time, let's start rapping 6-minute rounds. Let battles go back to being an hour long, hour and a half long. And then let's see if stopwatches start coming out. Like I said before, man, if you guys need an official timekeeper, fly me out, put me in a hotel, throw me a stack, and I'll officially time everybody. And I'll stop it exactly when it's supposed to stop. I mean, we need to bring like some sense of professional. Like, how can you even debate who won a battle or not? That shit matters. If you were to stop a battle rapper at the time that they were supposed to stop, the rounds and the conversations surrounding the battle are completely different. You're talking about major losses that people have taken, major wins that people have taken from rapping longer rounds or being at the receiving end of long rounds from their opponent. That shift the conversation of people's careers, shift the conversation of like, well, if he had beaten that guy, you know, maybe he would have, you know what I'm saying? Like, huge game changer. Time limits are the most important thing in battle rap, and nobody gives a fuck. But yeah, once again, I just wanted to talk about the Tay Roc clone battle because I saw a lot of people tweeting about it. Roc's round was 20 minutes long. Roc's round was 14 minutes long. Roc's round was 15 minutes long. It wasn't. It was 4 minutes and 37 seconds long, give or take 5 seconds maybe, where I accidentally paused it or stopped it or started it maybe like a fraction of a second before or after. Is that okay? I guess, but the contract would have to be 3:30 or 4 minute with a 30-second grace for that to be like acceptable, bro. If you're getting a 2:30 contract with a 30-second grace, if you rap 30 seconds over the grace period, you could fit round-winning, battle-winning bars in that space of time where you know you were supposed to stop. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I got to say about that. If I were to defend Roc in any sense, I don't think Clone's material was good enough to win anyway. So if you stopped Roc at the times where Clone stopped, you weren't getting a clone victory here. And I do think, the crowd was a little bit too much when it came to Roc. I mean, a 4 minute and 30-second round should not last 15 minutes. But once again, you can't stop a crowd from being giddy over a battle rapper, and you can't tell Tay Roc to not bring his bars back. You know what I mean? You can't tell him that he's not allowed to bring his bars back. So I see no harm, no foul here. If the contracts are high, if it's 2:30, 3 minutes with a 30-second grace and you go a minute over, it's terrible. It's just bad. It's bad. It's just bad. It's just bad. It's not a good thing. It's really not a good thing. It takes away the integrity of the competition. It's a competition, I know back then it used to be there was a time before time limits where it was just 20-minute rounds. You'd battle 7 rounds, like Mook and Party Artie, right? If I was there during Mook and Party Artie and was like, time, I'm getting jumped. These guys had 7 rounds and they just had clips of a 9-minute round here, a 3-minute round there, a 7-minute round here. But for a second with Smack DVD and Grind Time and King of the Dot, it got professional, and then it didn't. Battle rap, as a whole, is super unprofessional. Time limits are the most important thing, and nobody gives a shit. If you guys want to support me, as always, patreon.com/IamMikeP. I review albums. We're doing Big X the Plug's album that he just released this year tonight. So if you want to watch me, twitch.tv/IamMikeP_. I'll be doing that tonight. But if you want to see every VOD I've ever done of albums and bonus content, patreon.com/IamMikeP. I am Mike P, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.